Hi, this is Mariah Gullo from The Hollywood Reporter, and I'm in studio with Common today. Hi.
How are you?
It's good to see you again.
It's great to see you. I know when I see you, I'm in a great space. Something good is going on in my life.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about Marshall and stand up for something, but first, we have some unfinished business from the last time we spoke.
Okay.
I asked you if you were maybe going for an EGOT, and you went straight to camera, and you said, yes, I am going for an EGOT. And since then, you've won your Emmy, so congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I'll say it again. Yes, I would be grateful to achieve that. But, thank you for the congratulations. That was really something that we didn't know would happen. And, just to be a part, like I said, of 13th was already special. But to get an Emmy, like me and the creators, Robert Glasper and Kareem Riggins, we were in the clouds because it was like, I don't know, when we even found out we got a nomination, it was like, what? We got an Emmy nomination. And then to get an Emmy, and then to have people from around culture and in the industry say, man, you better go for it. EGOT. I mean, my thing, and I was just telling you, Mariah, before we start talking on camera, is like, my intentions as an artist and an actor is just to create the best work possible and do work that impacts people and moves people. And after it's created, do I want to receive recognition and great reviews and the highest accolades? Yes. I mean, I look at those things as blessings, but I know, the thing that I started, the reason why I started acting, the reason why I started doing this music is because I love it and I love the art. So I want to, I start with the love for what I do and then put all that passion into it and then see what comes about.
Yes, and, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking that, it's going to be, I don't know, I think the EGOT is, not ambitious enough for you. I think you should go for the PGOT. Do you know what that is?
What is it?
It's a Pulitzer Prize.
Ooh, that
plus the EGOT.
Pulitzer Prize, all right.
And there's only 2 entertainers who've done it yet.
Who?
Marvin Hamlisch and Richard Rogers.
Wow.
Composers. But Lin-Manuel Miranda is 1 Oscar away from a PGOT.
I know. I love Lin, so we would love to see him do that. One of the goals that I was setting for myself, and this is like on the humanity level, was go for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
I know that's not in the entertainment, but I mean, the point is, the reason why I bring that up is because all the, for me, like with all the awards with any awards that you receive, for me, I started feeling like, oh, this gives me more responsibility to do greater work in the world, to do more, to help people. Like it created more access for me to go out and meet with people that can help people. And I was talking to one of my good friends who was nominated for some Grammy Awards, and he was like, now people may listen to me when I go speak at a college or whatever. So, I mean, I also recognize the value in it beyond any of my own, man, Mom, look at this award, because it does feel good to receive an award and your family and parents and friends and everybody is celebrating with you because they've been through the journey with you.
Yeah, and you really try to balance the world of entertainment with the world of activism. You tend to spend a lot of time working for causes, but you're also, trying to be an entertainer and trying to do things that are just for the love of creativity and art. Do you have a specific plan for how you do that, or is it do you just fall from project to project?
Well, I mean, I have a vision for myself, and some of those things, are big visions. I want to be one of the great actors of our time. And that takes work and effort and, God willing, I'll get there. But I set goals to achieve certain things musically or to, say, man, I want to do theater at some point, and I really do. So I set the goals, and projects that just I feel invigorated by and they feel inspiring. That's what I'm drawn to. So it's whatever is, if something is in front of me that seems like it's the right thing and it's aligned with what I creatively think is great and fresh, and then it also, sometimes you luck up and get something that is aligned with your consciousness and you know, what you want to give to the world. And that, you know, that's where Selma or Gloria even stand up for something, you know, and for the movie Marshall. It's like all those are things, or Letter to the Free for that matter, like from 13th. Those are the times where you get to do something. Like I just did a film called The Hate You Give as an actor, and it's really saying something. I'm playing a police officer, a black police officer who has dealt with, I mean, the story's not based around me, but my character is, his niece is really struggling with being a black girl, going to a white school, but at the same token, her uncle is like a father figure to her, and her friend gets killed by a police officer. And playing that character gave me some, you know, like some things that I got to learn about, see things from a different perspective, and as a black man that is a police officer, I got to empathize with that or have more understanding and compassion. So I say that to say, yeah, some of these, you know, projects I get to really dig deep and say something to the world. And those are the most fulfilling ones. Those are the ones that I actually believe God is like, okay, these are the ones you're gonna excel in. But you know, but I don't get me wrong. I like sometimes playing a dark character, and but even that, I feel like you could bring humanity. I think one of the things that I really learned, as you know, from acting is just like you want to give dimensions to human beings. Like I could be walking down the street and see someone, you know, tatted up and like with their hat turned and their pants hanging down. I automatically could put a judgment on them. But, you know, it's through the art sometimes that we get to get close to those people and understand they're human beings and not just the outer vision that we see of, like, you might label them a thug or just a street cat, but, you know, you can find something else out by getting to talk to them. And unfortunately, everybody don't get to talk to everybody in the world. So sometimes it's the art that gets us closer to human beings.
That's true. Sometimes all you have to do is see a movie to start empathizing with somebody who you may not cross paths with on the street.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why, you know, I thought Moonlight was like a great study on how, like, you know, it made the racial relationships better to me, a film like Moonlight, because people got to see Mahershala's character be like this dude that you would have labeled a thug and just a drug dealer, be a loving, like, father-like figure to a young, gay young man. And those were two things you just don't think about. People don't even think about, maybe sometimes even in the black community. You know, we've seen that and we know that, but you don't even think about it all the way. So I think it's films like that, or, you know, I look at Slumdog Millionaire, got me into, like, what, you know, just the struggles that some of the young people in India had gone through. So I think the best art, to me, gets us in tune with our humanity, and we see that in what we're taking in, listening to, watching, and we kind of feel close to it, and it brings up something in us to hopefully make us want to be better or do something better or just know that we ain't the only person on the planet thinking like that.
Yeah. And, you know, there's a couple of themes that come up in Marshall, and one of the things that I noticed, because it takes place in 1941, and it's a time when people are, like, fear and racism is driving a wedge between people who might otherwise work together.
Yeah.
What, you know, when you talk about, like, the differences between, like, three communities that are looking for equality, like the gay community, women, and diversity, you know, how does everybody come together and work together towards this common cause when there's so many different facets of what they're looking for?
Well, I think, you know, for your third category, you know, we could just say people of color, but that includes obviously black and Latino people of color.
Right.
And searching for that opportunity, I think one of the first things is to realize that it's not just you going through it, and it's not only, I can't only stand for black people. I got to stand for women who are being, like, when you stand for people who, like, you standing up for, like, righteousness and the right thing, then it can't be only for you, because then it becomes, you know, just, it's just, in a way, kind of not selfish, but it's just like, it's only about something that you'll benefit from. And I think it's important that, like, I'm not a woman, so I got to stand up for women to show other men, like, this is what we should be doing. This is how we should do, because women have been treated second class the same way, you know, black people have been treated second class, and a lot of Latino brothers and sisters have been treated second class. Some Muslims have been treated second class. Like, I think it's really coming to the understanding, like, man, we have a lot of things that in common, and our differences shouldn't make us feel opposition. Yeah. Like, and it's getting over the fears of, like, America, like, really has a fear of women rising to a certain level, black people rising to a certain level, Latino people achieving certain things. It's like the fears of America, the powers that be, specifically, like, the white male mentality and, you know, of those in power. And I don't want to generalize and say every white man, but we know that's been the power that has been, like, consistently keeping people in a certain space. And I think once they recognize that, look, there's nothing to fear. We ain't coming to take all yours. It's just, like, enough for all of us to exist and to be in a world that's better. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, when we see each other in the struggle, we gotta speak up too.
Mm-hmm. And actually, like, if you give it some time, it might not be a bad thing.
Yeah.
If everybody gets better. Like, if everybody's life improves, yeah, maybe it won't be so bad for people. Maybe they won't be demoted like they think they're going to.
Yeah. Right? My life experience has been, okay, the more I achieve, if I'm achieving things and then people are struggling and hurting over here, first of all, I just, as a human being, I don't feel, like, complete, because I'm like, man, I could do something to help this person. Mm-hmm. You know, especially if I've gotten mine, and, you know, you still got to work and continue to do those things, but if I've achieved certain things and I'm in a certain place, I should only feel like, it doesn't even feel right for, you know, for people to be poor and me to just be like, that's just the way it is. That's why I never understood the corporate mentality or the billionaires mentality of, like, okay, I got billions and I'm going to keep exploiting the people. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, wow, you got money that will last generations, so you don't have to worry about that. So now it might be turning to Bill Gates to do good in the world at that point. You know, like, it's like you've made a lot, so go do.
You can't take it with you.
You can't take it with you, and you got enough for not even your children can, you know, when you get to certain levels, not even your children can mess up that money, because you're not going to put it all in one place. So, you know, I think that mentality for me is something. I don't understand it, but and I try to live by, you know, the further I go, the more I reach into the roots of where I come from and other places that I see are underserved, and give what I can give to that.
Let's talk about Stand Up for Something. Yeah. How did that song come about?
Oh, well, Stand Up for Something, it started, Diane Warren had the script for Marshall. Okay. And she said she was really inspired by the script in Thurgood Marshall's Who He Is in History. Yeah. And she was listening to this song called The Change Is Gonna Come, and she just said, I want to achieve something in that realm, where it's like a timeless song that just speaks to the times, but is also uplifting. Mm-hmm. So she wrote most of the, you know, like the melody and words of that were sung, and then we happened to be going to Sundance and ended up on the same plane, and I was sitting behind her, and she turned around. We had talked a little bit before, and she was like, I got this song that you gotta lay a rap on it. It would be great. You gotta write something to it. I'm telling you, it's and she started singing it, and I was like, okay. She'll say she ain't the best singer, but it was still, you know, I knew it had some heart to it. So she sent me like a demo of the song, and I just started calling her like, yo, I gotta be on this, like, come on. So as soon as I got back from Sundance, I went and started writing. I was actually trying to write then and there, like, and, you know, I knew Thurgood Marshall's story, and, you know, that's one of the heroes that I learned about in history and as in black history too. Yeah. So I just I wanted to write something that would compliment her. I thought she wrote a beautiful song that had like this anthem mantra type of thing to it, like where it's mantras that you can say. Like she says, do the best that you can do, and you can look in the mirror proud of who's looking back at you. And I'm like, man, that could be in a children's book, or that could be like in a Deepak Chopra book, and it's like, and it just would resonate. And so I wanted to actually be able to, you know, complement that and write some things. When I was sitting down writing to it, I think like, man, how can I say something that'll be something like a Martin Luther King speech, you know, on this type of song, something that'll be like a word words that people could use in life, like let the ways of love be the ways of man. I'm thinking like I want to say something that, you know, people would use in their mentality in life. So that's how the song came about. And Andrew Day Diane had already selected her to sing it, and we just went in the studio and Andrew hit this vibe, and we were like, man, this song really, it just resonated with all of us, and we you know, it felt like where we need to be in our lives right now, standing up for something with all that's going on in the world. Standing up for something is that one, you know, thing that we can all do, no matter where you sit in life.
Yeah. Did you get to see the movie before or after you recorded?
I saw the movie after I recorded, yeah. But I was writing it for the movie because I kind of knew the gist of the film, and I some things you just feel like, oh man, this is supposed to be, because the day I heard Diane sent me the song, the day I was listening to it over and over, I was giving my haircut listening like, you know, you're like, you ain't got no hair, but you know, I was getting my hair cut, and I kept listening to it, and then that night I had to go to this lunch or this dinner, and Reginald Hudlin, the director for Marshall, was there. He was like, I was like, man, I heard the song Diane wrote for Marshall, and he was like, man, you gotta understand, this is incredible. I was like, I know, I'm gonna get on it. I was really excited about it. We both were, so it was kind of like, you know, everything aligning, because I wanted to work with Andrew Day also. We had talked about working together, and so now it's like every time we perform it, I just feel like grateful that I was on that plane, and you know, just we get to do music and art like this for films like this, and you know, hopefully it'll go down in history in the ways that, you know, some of our great leaders have done.
Yeah. And you started a social media campaign around the song?
Yeah, well, our social media campaign was really encouraging everybody to, this hashtag stand up for something. And it was really encouraging people to like write what they stand up for. And it was something because when we first had to do it, I really had to think about, okay, what do I stand for? It really makes you examine your purpose, because if you have to say I stand for, and I eventually was like, I stand for peace, and then I was like, I stand for women's rights. So, and I actually ended up adding more verse to the song because of the campaign, and just like really thinking what I stand for. And I wanted to say more things, but the campaign is really to encourage people to think about what they stand for, and how can they go out and achieve that. How can they go make it active? And that's one of the things, that's our next step on this campaign, is really providing a base for people to go to. Like if you said, man, I stand for women's rights, that we can identify some places. If you just went and checked on this site, and we don't have it up yet, but we're working towards that. That's part of the vision, is that you go to the site and you can see places where you know, in your area where you can like participate in women's rights. So if you stand for education, or if you stand for the environment, or stand for animals' rights, or stand for black and brown justice, whatever it may be, we want to activate people into action,
right.
you know. And,
connect them with the right people.
Yeah. I mean, 'cause that's honestly how a lot of the activism I'm blessed to do and get to do, I connect with organizations who are out there doing it. Like, they do it on a daily. So then I can connect with them and learn, and then figure out, okay, this is where I fit in, and this is how I can help.
Yeah. Will you be participating in the Women's March in January?
I would love to. What's the date?
I think it's the same. It's probably going to be January 20th again, 21st.
Yeah.
I'll look it up for you.
Yeah, look it up.
I'll let you know.
I may be at Sundance on the 20th, but...
there might be something happening at Sundance. There was last year.
Last year we got to perform, and this year we're planning something really special too. But I need to be at the Women's March too. I got to figure out how to be at two places at once.
I'm sure if anybody can do it, it'll be you.
Yeah, right.
Common, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
The movie is Marshall. It's out in theaters now.